Right now at noon, a fatal crash outside Nevada leaves one man dead and one juvenile rushed to the hospital.
And it may not look like it just yet, but we are starting to clear out across the area, just not quite down in the Joplin Metro. Clearing out will continue. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, we have some tips to get your vehicle winter ready.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on KOAM News at Noon. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. In today's top story, a fatal car accident occurred last night, resulting in one man dead and a juvenile being life-flighted to the hospital with serious injuries. It happened around 7 p.m. last night when a 2018 Chevrolet Traverse was traveling northbound on 1300 Road about a quarter-mile west of Nevada. The crash occurred as the vehicle failed to negotiate a curve, traveled off the right side of the roadway, and struck a tree. The driver, 32-year-old Tyler Claypool of Nevada, was pronounced deceased. His passenger, a 14-year-old juvenile, was transported by MedFlight to Mercy Joplin Hospital with serious injuries. We'll keep you posted as new details become available. And groceries are about to get cheaper in Kansas. That's because the second phase of the Axe the Food Tax Act takes effect in the new year. It'll cut the state sales tax on groceries from 4% to 2%. Governor Laura Kelly says it will result in $150 million in tax relief to residents. The final phase of the act will eliminate the tax in 2025. And a Pitt State economics professor says the Pittsburgh area had an unprecedented growth in number of jobs in 2023, and some business owners express optimism heading into 2024. While the inflation rates have affected the purchase power of the population, Professor Michael Davidson said the number of households pushed up the middle income bracket increased to 7.6% in the area. Some local businesses say 2023 was a good year, but they project an even better 2024.
We have a lot of programming planned, and I'm excited for the store. I'm excited to see, I think you have to be flexible in retail, which has been a little bit of a slow learning process for me, but I think I'm finally getting the hang of that, to be flexible.
With inflation, then purchasing power is going to decline. They are able to buy less, and of course that is also bad for businesses because they are going to sell less. If it wasn't for the fiscal stimulus, then of course economic activity would have slowed down.
Davidson projects inflation nationally and locally to continue dropping in 2024. However, he believes energy prices and housing prices are still going to be high.
And it is still pretty chilly in some areas. It's not too bad in others. It is cloudy from our camera in downtown Joplin on top of the Cornell complex. But as you can see, the last edge of the clouds and the stray flurries getting ready to work their way out of here. Now we'll still have a few clouds through the afternoon for all of us, but eventually we're going to start to see clearing. In fact, I was in the newsroom earlier here at the station. We're just in between Pittsburgh and Crestline, and I saw a little bit of sunlight out there, and this has done this to me again. Every so often it decides we don't need to know what we started yesterday at. But I can tell you it was cold. We were all there. We were awake when it happened. It was cold. We made it up to 42 though, so just a little off of average for us. Quick look outside, 38 in Joplin, 40 in Pittsburgh. There's that sunshine I'm talking about. On that KDOT camera there, you can see we still have the clouds. The last edge of it's out there from Joplin, and if we look at Pittsburgh, we can see the sunshine's on its way. Now out to the west, where you're already getting some of that sun, we mentioned you might make it into the mid-40s today, and take a look. Yates Center, Neodesha, Parsons, 42, 43 in Chanute, and of course where the clouds are still socked in, it starts to get a little colder. 39 Miami, 36 Neosho, 34 Monette and Cassville. We're all going to get in on all that sunshine and slightly warmer weather as we go through the afternoon. And of course, to keep up on all of these fun changes, especially as we head into New Year's weekend, don't forget to download the KOAM Skywatch weather app. It is free. It's available in any of your favorite app stores or wherever you get your connected content. We're going to have a complete look at your forecast, including New Year's Eve, here in just a few more moments. And in case you missed the morning show this morning, it's Caitlin's birthday.
Woo! Thanks, Chris.
Happy birthday. We're not going to sing. We don't want to get you to change the channel, but we will say happy birthday.
Appreciate it. Thanks, buddy. Well, We're getting out of our first real winter, so that means it's a good idea to make sure that your car is ready for the colder conditions. Auto service techs say the cold weather can dramatically shorten the life of a battery. It might have been functioning fine in the summer months before completely failing when the temps drop. Especially if it gets below freezing, a battery's ability to store electricity is greatly reduced. The amount of tech inside of newer cars can also strain the battery's limits.
Today's vehicles being as electronic as they are, a low battery can cause a lot of other issues. It makes the alternator work harder. It makes all the electrical systems in the vehicle that are designed to operate on a certain amount of electricity try to operate on less. And as a result, you can have vehicle problems.
Also, an all-season tire should be enough for wintry weather, but don't forget to have an emergency kit on hand just in case. And that's a look at today's top stories and weather in the 4 states region. Up next on KOAM News at Noon, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, who admitted to helping her boyfriend kill her abusive mother in a case that generated national attention, was released from prison on a parole Thursday. We'll have her full story of what led to the killing and what's next now that she's a free woman. And later, we're making pepperoni pizza stuffed mushrooms in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. Stay tuned. Gypsy Rose Blanchard will be ringing in the new year at home. She is now on parole after serving 8 years in prison for admitting to helping her boyfriend kill her mother. Until her arrest, Gypsy was believed to be suffering from a number of serious health issues. That was until investigators uncovered the abuse she experienced at the hands of her mother. CNN's Gary Tugman has more.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard, a little girl whose mother Dee Dee was known as a loving, caring single parent of a profoundly disabled child.
It's Mayberry. We're moving to Mayberry.
I remember my mom had gave me this little glass house, and she said, one day this will be real. And now it finally is.
Gypsy and her mother had just moved into a Habitat for Humanity home in Missouri after their house was devastated in 2005 by Hurricane Katrina. It appeared to be a feel-good story for this child, whose mother said she had brain damage, leukemia, asthma, muscular dystrophy, and was not able to walk. But it was all a lie. Dee Dee Blanchard had fabricated it all. Gypsy was victimized by her mother's apparent Munchausen syndrome by proxy, in which a guardian causes or exaggerates illnesses. Gypsy never went past 2nd grade.
It just proves that happy endings are not just in fairy tales, they're real and true in real life also.
The elaborate scheme that Dee Dee concocted did indeed get her sympathy, like at this charity function.
In our darkest hour.
Thank you, Miss Judy, and always said, you're the reason I was born to be your mama.
State of Wisconsin versus Gypsy Blanchard.
But then, in 2015, Gypsy and a long-distance boyfriend were charged with murdering Dee Dee. Gypsy told Nicholas Godejan about the lifetime of abuse she endured. They came up with a plan to kill her mother, and Godejan was accused of stabbing her to death in their Missouri home. Police reportedly found out about the killing from this violent post on a Facebook page that Gypsy shared with her mother.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Would you state your name for the record, please?
Gypsy Blanchard.
And how old are you?
I'm going to be 25 years old at 24.
Gypsy's boyfriend was found guilty and is serving a life sentence.
I would have never did it if it was not for me.
Prosecutors felt Gypsy needed to be held accountable, but because of the abuse she experienced, they agreed to a plea bargain.
She's to be sentenced to 10 years in the Missouri Department of Corrections.
While in prison, Gypsy talked with TV personality Dr. Phil about how her mother lied to doctors and how her mother handled her medical appointments.
She told me that I couldn't speak during a doctor's appointment. She would tell me, sit in the wheelchair, play with your Barbie dolls, and let me talk and don't interrupt. My mother told the doctors that I was mentally incompetent.
Gypsy also said her mother tried to convince her how helpless she was.
She would always use the medical term for everything that was wrong, that I had microcephaly, which is small head, that my brain didn't develop right, and I'll never mature past a 6-year-old's level.
After she was sentenced to 10 years in prison, Gypsy was told this.
She'll have to do 85% of her sentence before she's eligible for parole.
And today, that 85% is now over. Gypsy Rose got married while behind bars to a Louisiana school teacher, a relationship that reportedly began as pen pals. She is now free to be with him, to live as normal a life as possible, while she and we remember the things she was once forced to say, like this about her new house.
It's beautiful, and it's happy, and it's full of love.
Gary Tuckman, CNN, New York.
According to the Missouri Department of Corrections, Blanchard is expected to be on parole supervision until June of 2025. Still to come on KOAM News at Noon, we see what's cooking with Mr. Food.
If you love stuffed mushrooms and pepperoni pizza, then you'll love what we're making today. And it's perfect for New Year's.
And the sky is beginning to clear for some and still a little cloudy for others. We'll have a look at when we're going to clear out and that New Year's forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. It is finally Friday here in the 4 states, last Friday of 2023 ahead of the new year starting officially, of course, on Monday. And as we start to wrap up this last week of 2023, we have got skies finally beginning to clear. Let's take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. You can see the satellite data updating right as we took it up there. We've got that edge of clouds. At least the thicker clouds right through here and out to the west. There's still partly cloudy skies, but you're seeing more sunshine, and that is a wonderful thing. Zooming in, if we take a quick look, you can see Skywatch Storm Tracker picking up on little spots of basically flurries, maybe some light drizzle, which we figured would still be ongoing under the cloud cover, as the main system itself is well out to our east, and the backside of it, which as you can see stretches from St. Louis all the way down to here, is finally beginning to roll on out of here. So future track, the only thing it has to show us is cloud cover. And it's showing that cloud cover clearing out as we head through the evening and into the early overnight hours. And then as we head toward tomorrow, clouds are going to begin to increase again in the morning. But I also want to remind folks, too, the clouds act as that thermal blanket. That's the one thing that's kept our lows somewhat milder. Without that, some of us are going to get a little bit colder tonight because any of the heat we get from the sun today, especially out in Kansas where you're getting a little bit more of it, it's going to just be gone. Be gone, and it'll be cold. Now we're going to have those partly cloudy skies as we go through Saturday. We're not anticipating any rain. Clears out again overnight, and we'll see a few more clouds again for New Year's Eve day. But at this point, not seeing those shower chances on the computer models as we had been seeing earlier. But even then, it was a very slight chance. It wasn't a lot showing up, and now it's just not showing up at all. All right, MoDOT camera, I-44 and Rangeline looking toward the east, toward these clouds, and you can see there they are. They are everywhere out there. Aha! Now our camera on top of the Cornell complex starting to see the back edge of those clouds roll through, starting to get a little sunlight in here. In fact, yeah, you can see some of it there shining on the backside of the Frisco building, but not quite on the rest of downtown as we continue to clear. And over in southeast Kansas, these are shadows caused by the sun, that big glow cloud in the sky making a return on the KDOT camera on 69 just south of Pittsburgh. Our camera at 7th and Rangeline has been angry at me all day long. I do not know why, but I can tell you it's showing the blue skies starting to show up as well. It's 38 in Joplin, feels like 31 with a northwest breeze at around 9 miles an hour. Over on the Pittsburgh side, still reported between partly and mostly cloudy, just starting to see the clouds clear out there. 41 in Pittsburgh, feeling like 36 with the west breeze at 7. And you can see where that cloud line is. The darker blues indicating the colder temperatures and still into the mid-30s in parts of southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas. And then you head out west where you're getting a little more sunshine, and we're climbing back up into the low 40s, might even make the mid 40s, and we still have a breeze, so we still have a wind chill out there. So unfortunately, Mount Vernon, Cassville, it still feels pretty darn cold out there, but don't worry, the sun is coming. Skies will continue to clear. On average, we're looking at highs around 40, but again, those of you getting sunshine now, it's going to start to warm up a pinch more. I'm not talking 60s, unfortunately, but maybe mid-40s out there. Mid to upper 20s for overnight lows. West breeze 5 to 10. Partly cloudy for us tomorrow. Mid to upper 40s out there. Southwest breeze 5 to 10. And as we look ahead, We are looking at a pretty good Sunday for New Year's Eve. A little chilly though, partly cloudy, low 40s. First day of 2024 is going to be straight up cold into the upper 30s, but then as we cruise on into next week, temperatures begin to rise a bit. We go up to about 50 by next Thursday with mostly cloudy skies. So we're going to get there. We're starting to see the sunshine. I'm ready to see the sunshine.
Let's get that sunshine.
I'm working on for your birthday. That's my birthday gift to you is a sunny day. That you go home, it'll be sunny.
Wrapping up the new year right. I like that. All right, we'll stick around because we're making pepperoni stuffed pizza in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. It's time to check in with Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Today he's making stuffed mushrooms with all the same taste you'd find in a slice of pepperoni pizza. Take a look.
With New Year's Eve just days away, we've got a fun twist on stuffed mushrooms where we add everything we love about our favorite pizza, including the pepperoni and the ooey gooey cheese. And yes, it's very easy. We start by separating the stems and caps from about a pound of mushrooms, and we chop the stems. We found the best way to do this is with one of those inexpensive hand choppers that we can find almost everywhere. Okay, we saute the chopped stems in some melted butter, and once they cook down a bit, we take them off the heat and add in some breadcrumbs, chopped pepperoni slices, a few seasonings, and some pizza sauce, and give it a good stir. We spoon the mixture into the caps using a teaspoon, like this. We want to make sure they're filled nice and high. These can even be made ahead of time and baked right before serving them. A little mozzarella gets melted on top, and they're done. With every bite, we get all the things we love about pepperoni pizza in the form of stuffed mushrooms. To get the recipe, all you need to do is go to our website and look for pepperoni pizza stuffed mushrooms. This way you'll have it on hand in time for New Year's or whenever you want something crazy good. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a pizzalicious way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, so we've got clearing skies out there today. We're going to be in the low 40s for New Year's Eve, upper 30s New Year's Day, warming up toward the end of next week.
All right, sounds good, Chris. And coming up tonight at 5, the countdown is on for the new year. And for many, it's a time to make goals for 2024. According to one survey, more than a third of Americans make New Year's resolutions. Plus, we're finding out how one running group is helping its members hit their goals in the new year. And we take a look at how local gyms are preparing for an influx of members. Join us for those stories and more on KOAM News at 5. And that's it.